are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. What? Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Let's get it. What?
At Tanagra, when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. How you doing today?
Good. Did you know that if you share this podcast with 10 friends
Or Frans. If you know 10 people named Fran,
you have to share it with them.
if you will share it with 10 Frans,
Or friends.
or friends,
One or the other.
they can be named Fran.
That's bonus.
If ideally, in
Yeah.
a perfect world,
In a perfect
your 10
world.
friends are named Fran.
Yes.
Your
inner circle,
Yes. If your inner circle exists of
10 people named
10
Fran.
people named Fran, I mean, your life is...
Does life get any better
No.
than that?
Can you name one Fran? Fran Drescher.
Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton. Fran Drescher.
Francisco.
Fran San Francisco.
If you share this, people don't know this.
People don't.
I
don't think I know what you're about ready to say.
If you share this podcast with 10 friends, God will bless you.
Oh,
It's true. It's 100% true. And listen, prove me wrong. Share it with 10 friends and see if God curses you.
okay.
Or blesses you. I'm guessing he's going to bless you.
That's the level of desperate that we've moved to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's gonna die.
No.
They're gonna be talking to the guy's
no
wife.
curse associated.
Not someone's going to die. Everyone dies.
Well, that's true.
We've
Everyone does
established
die.
this.
Someone's gonna die tomorrow, and they're gonna be talking to the wife. What do you think happened? I don't know. He was just sharing this podcast, and then he croaked. It's gonna be your fault.
Jesse, nobody's addressed you in the room yet.
I'm sorry.
And you're just willy-nilly, just talking.
I came in hot.
mean,
today.
So you did. And I made you espresso. So
That's why.
That's
Yeah,
only going to get
yeah,
worse.
I'm
He hasn't
already-
even. He just smelled it,
I
and this
took a
is.
sip. Yeah.
So we're
there's
in.
cocaine in that coffee.
Yep. So we're talking just a couple of minutes ago, and Michaela.
Oh, no.
And Michaela made the artwork to our thing here. This will be an integral part of the show introduction at some point. She created all
critical.
of this. So we're talking, and Michaela's sitting there, and Jesse's there, and Michaela goes, "Oh, I was watching the show the other day," and Jesse's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "You know, Kim Possible's like a girl, right? She's like a child, you know."
Well, I mean, to his credit, you started watching as a child, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, in reality, Kim Possible would have grown up to be the same age as...
Listen, that's pretty much exactly what I said.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
She tickled my fancy then, and I've got to imagine that she aged well.
Okay.
So she's 28 in my mind.
If you ever mention your fancy being tickled again, Mount Rushmore
Savannah's not going to be happy with that one.
of
People tickling his fancy.
I mean, have you used the phrase "tickled my fancy"?
I would like it to happen someday. I've never had my fancy tickled.
I feel like we need to move on.
Tickle my... How's it go?
Tickle my fancy.
Tickle my fancy.
I've heard the phrase. I've never used it in reality,
yeah.
in real life.
It's not a naughty phrase.
Well, it's whatever you want
I mean, I
it
know
to
it
be.
sounds like it,
It does.
but it's not.
Okay.
Get your heads out of the gutter.
Once again,
Jason.
the show was really, really easy to do before Jesse came
It was
on.
so
I'm
it
sorry.
required no concentration on my
No,
part.
we
It was
just talk.
Yeah. And now it's like I'm standing over a bomb and I got to decide
Red wire.
Red wire.
Yeah.
First of all, you always cut the red wire.
Red means blood.
Red means blood. You always cut the red wire.
Yeah.
That's obvious. Secondly, I would say 9 times out of 10 in a bomb situation, it probably doesn't matter. I'll bet if you just put all the wires together and cut them all at once, it'd probably be fine. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, if you don't have a knife or scissors, you just strip the wires.
Just grab it and pull it, and it's probably going to be fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I've thought that.
Do you think you could work on a bomb squad?
I actually think I probably could.
I think you could.
That would be less stressful than my current job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you work on a bomb squad, how often? What do you think? It's like 5 bombs a year would be a busy year, I would think.
Well, I guess it depends where you live.
Disarm.
If you live in Atlanta or New York, I think maybe 10 to 20 bombs a year.
You think so?
I think threats.
Yeah, but I'm saying how many bombs are you actually like disarming?
Oh, 1 or 2.
A year would be a lot.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's probably a pretty good job.
There's a lot of sitting around just kind of like, researching bombs, reading about bombs.
Yeah.
I think if we say bombs one more time, we'll get flagged on the internet.
Researching bombs.
Yeah, researching, like
that
Google
phrase.
searching bombs.
Yeah, don't do that unless you're employed by a municipal.
Yeah, unless that's your job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get paid full time for that, or just when you're
Listen,
it's per case.
It might be. Yeah. So you just really. It might be a job that only gets used once or twice a year,
but super valuable,
but very important.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it to have someone on retainer full
just
time
on staff.
Just like, you know what? Your whole job is just to know bombs better than anybody.
Do you think at any point throughout that year, let's say it's a slow year and there are no bomb threats, is this guy responsible for like changing the water at the water cooler or like mopping the floor occasionally? Or?
I don't know. As long as he's researching and just learning more about bombs, I'm like, listen, leave that guy alone because we're all going to need him one day. When the time comes,
you will be thankful.
We need him to be at his best.
Yeah.
He might not seem like he's doing a lot now, but it's like the kicker on a football team,
Yes.
He's going to sit around the whole game, and there are going to be multiple games where it's like, I don't know, we didn't really need him. But that one game is going to come where like, we need this guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
He can't miss.
Yes. And so during practice, sure, he's not doing all the wind sprints everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
You're just kicking that football. Mm-hmm.
Or taking a day off, resting.
Whatever mentally makes you a better kicker.
Yes.
So when the time comes,
he needs
you're
to be
going
in a mental safe
in
place.
peak performance.
That's right. So yesterday, do you have stuff? I've got stuff. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. I've written everything down.
I appreciate that. I don't think we write things down enough.
Well, tonight I'm trying it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mount Rushmore of pen colors.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Black.
If you're signing anything legal, it's got to be blue. That's like a thing.
Not black?
No, you can't sign a black because
copying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have color copiers now.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like a legal thing.
Okay, so blue and black.
Blue and black.
I would say red.
Yeah, blue, black, red. I think those are your top 3.
The big 3.
Mm-hmm. It's the 4th one that is the hard one.
Okay, I would say the most common next one would be gray. I think there's a lot of gray pens.
Gray.
I think gray. Now, would I choose gray over black? I want it.
Mm-hmm.
I would choose black.
Yeah.
I see a lot of gray pens.
You do?
I see a lot of gray pens.
Gray ink?
Are you thinking of like pencils?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I mean,
where you can like turn it over and erase
honestly,
with the
there's not a
thing.
lot of other. I mean, does a purple pen exist? Yeah, purple pen exists.
Remember the pen that had the 4 little clicky things?
What were the colors?
I think green.
I think it
green
was green.
Green was the other one.
It was green, black,
red,
blue.
So that's it.
So it's green. Someone has already made this decision.
Yeah.
This is above our pay grade.
Someone's made it for us.
Someone has made this for us.
Before us.
For us, before us. So black, blue,
yeah,
red,
and green.
That's pretty good.
So a couple days ago, it might have been yesterday.
All my troubles seem
Well, I told you Harrison is going to play bowling this year.
Yeah, he's going to play bowling.
Okay. So when we had that conversation, I said, okay, that's fine. Just figure out what you need and we'll go buy it. Mm-hmm. And I said, you'll probably need like shoes and because you don't want to rent your shoes every time you play
You need
bowling.
some bowling pants and a bowling shirt.
That's what I said. Some type of uniform. You probably want your own ball.
Yeah.
And probably a bag to carry that ball because you just don't want to carry a loose bowling ball.
No.
So he comes home yesterday And he goes, Dad, I figured out what I need to play bowling.
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, what is it? He goes, I need shoes.
Yeah.
And I need a ball.
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, so did you talk about like what weight you'll need that ball? Mm-hmm. Because it's all different.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
And typically the heavier the ball, the more pins it destructs.
And the lighter the ball, the weaker you are, the better chance you have of spinning it.
But
You're going to have a hard time spinning a heavy ball.
That's true, but it doesn't knock down the pins as well.
Okay.
A heavier ball tends to knock down.
A really light ball can kind of almost bounce off of a pin.
That's right.
Where the
pins
heavier
are heavy.
ball just
People
rolls
don't realize how heavy bowling pins
People
are.
don't realize that. Mount Rushmore of things that are heavier than people think they are.
Bowling pin.
Me.
Wow, that's a car tire.
Car tires are heavier than you think they
Yeah,
are.
I don't think like when you go to change one, like oh my gosh,
Jeez,
yeah.
man, what is this?
I thought it was filled with air.
Yeah.
think it'd be like a helium balloon or something.
And your wife's weekend bag, where you pick it up, you're like,
I'm glad you said bag.
You're just going to be gone for the weekend, and then you pick it up, you're like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
this is
we're
heavy,
gone
huh?
for a day and a half.
This is heavy. What is it? What are you?
We're gonna be back tomorrow night.
What do you got? A dead body in this? Is what I always say.
Okay, that's good. So
Dead body. That's it.
Yeah.
I think body actually
Definitely.
just
Heavier-
heavier than you think it is.
well, that's when you said my wife's weekend bag. I thought you were gonna not say bag.
I guess I don't know what I thought. You
Like
thought.
your wife on the weekend.
My weekend
is heavier.
wife. What?
Your wife on the weekend is heavier than what you would think she is.
My wife on the weekend is the same wife all week long. I have one
But
wife.
heavier on the weekend.
No, she's the same.
She doesn't weigh the same.
She weighs the same.
Always.
I mean, we all change incrementally.
125 pounds year round. Never changes.
Never. I don't know. I don't know what she weighs. It's really none of my business.
Okay. I'm surprised you never asked.
But I know that she doesn't weigh more or less on the weekends. She's the same.
I would think everybody weighs more on the weekend.
Man, I just got
Because you're sitting around drinking coffee, eating pie. You're
I
not
just
doing
got
a lot
back
of
from
stuff.
Amish country, and whew, man, I made some poor food decisions in Amish country. I'm not going to lie. It got out of control.
Lots of cheese.
Fast. So much cheese
Yeah.
and pie.
Pie.
And Amish country is just, I mean, honestly, I don't get, what is the appeal?
I don't know.
It's kind of like
It's-
a zoo.
Bland food and overpriced furniture. You know what I mean? Like, but the sweets are good. The
Yeah.
pies and donuts are good.
Is a cheese pie a cheesecake?
Is a cheese pie. Wait a minute.
Cheesecake is a cheese pie. It's not traditional cake.
I hear you. Okay. Is a cheesecake a pie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. 100%.
It's not a cake.
No, it's not a cake.
It's closer to a pie than it is to a cake.
100%.
Uh-huh.
You compare a cheesecake with a pumpkin pie, it's more similar than a cheesecake and a birthday cake.
I agree.
Thank you. So Harrison, I said Harrison, what weight are you thinking about? I thought he might have this conversation.
Sure, that's completely reasonable.
Yeah, and I said I think you want something on the heavier side. And he said, yeah. He goes, I think I want it as heavy as I can actually roll it. I said,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
The heaviest you can roll it, that would be fantastic. And I said, so what do you think that weight is? What do you want to start shopping for? And he goes, like 100 pounds? And I said, you want a 100-pound bowling ball?
That would be epic.
100-pound. I said, do you plan on bowling granny style? Like you're not even gonna pick it up. You're just gonna like.
So this ball is not like heavy, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
not like light. Is there a
There
weight?
should be a number on there. It's probably like 10.
I would say this one's 10 pounds.
So
I don't see a number.
Traditional weight for a bowling ball is anywhere between 8.
8 and
14.
14. Yeah.
I think 16 is like the
Man,
heaviest.
that's a crazy heavy ball. That's like a 16. Yeah, you're like, geez, man, that thing is big.
Yeah.
100 pounds? You're
100
gonna break the
Everything. He's gonna break everything. He's
That'd
gonna.
be awesome, though. I mean, if he was like, if he shows up with a 100-pound ball, I mean, that's intimidation.
The other team would just quit immediately.
Like, that kid's got a 100-pound ball. And he just walks up with it.
And then I informed him how ridiculous that was. That 100, and he goes, I don't know, like 70. I'm like,
I mean, we are so far.
like, I don't think you understand how this works.
Yeah.
And he goes, I could pull a 70-pound ball. I said, I don't think that you could.
No.
And so we weighed
I
Teddy.
mean, picking up something that's 70 pounds would be a lot. How much do you weigh?
140, he said.
So that's half your weight.
Half his weight. Okay. So I said, Teddy, go upstairs and stand on the scale. He comes down. He goes, I'm 56.7.
Okay.
56 pounds, 0.7. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think you could pick up Teddy with one hand.
Yeah.
He goes, but he's not shaped like a ball. Which is a valid point.
That is a valid point.
It is a valid point. It's hard to pick up a person
It is.
with one hand. But even Teddy's weight at 56 pounds would be a massive bowling ball.
I don't think I'd be curious, Jesse. I don't know if you could Google this, but like, what's the heaviest ball that like
Legal?
someone like the heaviest legal bowling ball?
I think it's like 16 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every once in a while,
the automatic ball return would probably break if you had a
yeah, it
100
probably couldn't handle a 100-pound ball.
It's 16 pounds.
Yeah, that's
16.
what I thought.
That's the heaviest you
The
can
heaviest
have.
Yeah.
legal bowling ball, 16
And
pounds.
Harrison once won at least like 7 times heavier than that. So
You know what? I appreciate the moxie.
yeah,
Just the belief in
if
himself.
you could just hit that first pin, I think they would all just like shatter.
If
It
you
would
could
have to
just
be
make
that,
it.
it would have to be big enough. I mean, that much weight. It would be so much larger.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think
you could. I mean, you put like a
tungsten. I
Cast
think
iron?
And
I think tungsten is super heavy.
Okay.
I saw some people melt tungsten down and made a Thor hammer with it, and it was like literally like impossible
Super
to
heavy,
pick
yeah.
up. Which is cool.
unless you're worthy.
Thor and
Captain America like moved it.
but then the one guy just picked it up.
Vision.
Yeah, Vision was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, he's AI. So, what's the heaviest bowling ball you think you could roll?
that I could like literally just.
Get from the release to the pins without gutter.
Can I use 2 hands or just one?
Sure, 2.
If I can use 2 hands, I mean, I wonder how much a. Google this. Find out how much a 5-gallon bucket of paint weighs.
Well, 8 gallons of water. I'm sorry, 1 gallon of water is 8 pounds.
1 gallon of water is.
So you had a 5-gallon bucket. 5 times 8 would be 40.
Okay, I've picked up a lot of 5-gallon buckets, and they're pretty heavy.
Yeah,
I think I could do that.
for a 40-pound ball. I mean, somewhat accurate,
Okay.
right?
it's going to be between 40 and 60 pounds.
Okay.
Paint's gonna be a little denser.
Yeah. So
a little
let's say
heavier.
50
Hey,
pounds.
Don't bump that. Every time. No, don't bump anything. Like a bowl in a china shop. Listen,
That's where
just
you
because
go.
you're wearing green.
He's wearing a swamp thing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of actually a pretty cool T-shirt. Actually. I actually really like that.
Let's all address our T-shirts here. So there's not one on Jesse because
Cameras.
We're
not there yet.
We only have 3 cameras. It's dedicated to 2 people.
One for both of us. One for me. One for you.
Yeah, we can't put one on Jesse.
I
mean,
agree.
maybe on camera 6 or 7 down the road, because I'll need 2 on me.
He'll be
2
like
on
in
you.
the periphery at some point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, is that?
Or if there was a
is that
mirror back
blob
here
down there, is
you might
that-
be able
I
to
can't
bounce
quite-
off the mirror.
Yeah, like maybe. Yeah.
The reflection in the Coke bottle on the back wall. I think that might be Jesse. So he's got a swamp thing.
Which
Very
is pretty
cool
cool.
t-shirt.
It's kind
Very
of
cool
almost
t-shirt.
like pixelated, which is kind of cool too. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
very
it a lot.
swampy. I went with the Liger.
From Napoleon Dynamite, bred for skills in magic. Pretty much my favorite animal.
I love the Liger.
I love the Liger. I just love Napoleon Dynamite so much. Levi's got a friend who's a female, and
Did he tickle her fancy?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Erica cannot listen to
No.
this.
So he I told him, I was like, because if they continue to be friendly with one another, prom would come up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I said, you have to draw
Yes.
a picture of her
Yes.
and give it to her as a prom present, but try to make it look like the picture from Napoleon Dynamite and tell her.
Spent 3 hours shading
It
on
took
your
me
upper
like
lip.
3 hours to do the shading on your upper lip. I just spit. I love that. I love that line so much.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 hours to do the shading on your upper lip. Is such, it's just genius. 3 hours to do the shading on your upper lip. I mean, it's such a good line.
That's fantastic. Is he going to wear like the brown suit?
That
would be
I
fantastic.
hope so.
He should just go straight Napoleon.
I don't know if she's a fan, but
it doesn't matter.
But the drawing would be.
Yeah.
I just hope he does it.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
So you've got the Liger shirt, and I've got the Jean-Luc Picard, friend of the show. Aaron O'Reilly Slob gave me this shirt. It was a couple years ago.
Darmok and Jalad
Darmok
at Tanagra.
So it's like a concert shirt, you know.
Yeah.
And at Tanagra, September 1991, which I guess is probably when that episode aired.
Yes.
So we've all got great shirts on. You got a Star Wars shirt on, Harrison. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Darth Vader.
Dark Vader.
AKA, I said Darth Vader.
Dark Vader.
Yes.
Yeah.
AKA Anakin. What do you got?
Man, let's just do. I like your list.
Listen, I'll keep going with it. Also, my nerdy son over there joined the chess club at school.
Boy.
So
he's on the bowling team and the chess club. You're going to be beating the ladies off with a stick.
Well, with that 100-pound bowling ball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
100-pound bowling ball, your bowling uniform with your bowling shoes on your way to chess club. I mean, gosh, does it get any?
Well, I asked him. I
it's a
said,
chick
you know,
magnet.
Yeah,
you know?
that's why he's doing it.
Yeah,
It's for the chicks.
the ladies.
He wants to play that 3D chess. You know
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe chess is popular right now because of Queen's Gambit. You know,
she's
so
a female chess player.
yeah, she's about the same age as Kim Possible, I think. Ooh.
This show is taking
I'm just saying that the Queen's Gambit, maybe chess is cool now because
I
of
think
the
chess
Queen's
is
Gambit.
okay.
Yeah.
I
So-
like chess.
I honestly, did we have a chess club at our school?
No.
I can't imagine we did. I don't even think our teachers knew how to play chess.
We did.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been on it.
But in hindsight, if
yeah.
I could go back in time, here's what I would do in high school.
Yeah.
I would take every mechanics class I could find.
Yes.
Like anything on any shop class.
Small engine, diesel mechanic.
Woodworking, like any shop class I could. I would take all of those classes.
Yes.
That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is play golf. You played golf. You know.
1 year.
And I would love to be on a chess club because to actually learn it,
Yeah.
I'll be curious what you find out.
Well, he's on his second tonight was his second what do they call it?
Practice?
I don't know what it is. Scrimmage?
Chess or bowling?
Chess meeting.
Chess meeting.
You found a way to make it even more boring. I mean, practice was like
chess meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
a chess meeting.
It's a chess meeting. I mean, to me, that sounds like just a bunch of people sitting around talking about chess.
Yeah.
You're not even
Get
playing.
the whiteboard
You're not
up.
actually playing
I'm gonna
chess.
diagram some stuff out.
When can we just play chess? You'll play chess when I say you're ready to play chess. For some reason, I turned into John Wayne.
So, listen, he's a freshman in high school. He's trying to forge his own path. And good luck to you.
Jason, are we going to talk about Saturday? Is that on your list?
This past Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was.
It was very insightful into
What I don't
a possible future for us.
I remember.
That's dark.
I totally forgot.
So
I tried to wipe it clear.
at our grandparents' house. There were 4 generations of Owings.
Yes.
The smartest one being Levi. Levi's like, Dad, I'm going to drop you off.
Was he even there?
He just dropped me off.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, I got to go do a thing. I was like,
Anything.
Yeah.
Walk
later
around.
when I told him about it, he's like, yeah, I might have made the right call. So we go because it's a group project,
Yeah.
where we're going to build a ramp.
Did Dad ask you to attend?
Yeah, Dad called me on Friday
Same
about
here.
5 or 6 o'clock to let me know that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't care.
He didn't care.
Do what you want.
But grandma needs a ramp, and somebody's got to build it for her.
Yeah.
And what I'm you know what I mean? Like, no, is that well,
Yes.
Dad, I was gonna stay home and watch English Premier League soccer,
Now I got to build a ramp for my grandma.
and so I show up,
Yeah.
and our uncles, Tom and Sherm are already there building the ramp.
Yeah.
When I show up, there's nothing for me to do.
Yeah.
At this point, this is not a 10-person job here. This is at most a 3-person job.
Yeah.
But the third person is mostly just getting in the way. It could be a 1-person job, maybe 2.
I would say 2.
I could do it by myself. I'm quite sure.
You should have, because it's incomplete. We didn't even finish.
I found out when I was there. Grandma was telling me. She said the railing has to be painted. I was like, all right, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna paint the railing for you because I don't need to get in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
You know, and Jason, how there are cut or measure twice, cut once people. Like that's a rule in woodworking.
Measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice, cut once. 27. Okay, 27. All right, let me go. 27 mark. I'm gonna measure up 27. Okay,
yeah.
Right? Because once that cut happens,
you
cut
can't
happens.
Uncut it.
Yeah. Whatever is in our DNA,
the Owings blood.
It's cut and ask questions later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And dramatic cuts. Like, just like, it's like there's a huge ramp that needs to be, and these pieces of wood are not cheap things. It's like, I don't know if you just get that chalk mark out, put it, a little bit higher. That's fine. And then, I'm like, this is permanent, what you guys are doing here. And the whole time, Grandpa, who's been looking at the plans now for 3 days,
drawing them out on scale.
Yeah, and he's got it all figured out, and then, Bert and Ernie showing up, I don't want to despair, but then they show up and Grandpa is just like,
it's not how he planned it.
And it's not working. You know what I mean?
Well,
and he's
the first cut was a pretty big cut.
The first few cuts, didn't go well. Can I say, first of all, I love my family.
Yeah.
I love my uncles. All right, you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to,
Actually, I thought the day went pretty well.
It was fine for me. I just sat there and drank coffee and made fun of them the whole time.
And ate donuts.
And I had one donut.
I brought the donuts.
It was the beginning of a bad week for me in Amish country. But anyway, I digress. So
see, heavier on the weekend.
I was heavier on the weekend.
I think it's a thing.
Yeah. So so they make the cut on the 4x4. I'm watching them do it. I'm like, you guys didn't even measure that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's like the platform, like the whole weight of everything is going to sit on. And he puts it in the concrete footer, right?
Yeah.
That fits in a 4x4, fits in perfectly there. It's a great little thing, and you put it in there, and then everything can rest on it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like go into the ground. It's a really great thing. Well, I didn't even look like they measured it to me. It just looked like, okay, cut it. Our uncle puts it in, and it's like obviously too high, and he's like, So he grabs a hammer and he just starts whacking it with a hammer to try to like force it down into this concrete footing. And he hits it for about 30 seconds straight as hard as he can with this hammer. And it went down maybe 2 or 3 centimeters. I mean, maybe, And then he steps back and then he turns around and he walks away. And I think, well, he must be going to get like a sawzall or something. Just going to slice the top of it.
Bigger hammer.
Yeah, he came back with a sledgehammer, I'm like, at some point, concrete is concrete, and when wood meets concrete, concrete wins.
Yeah. Well, or you bust the concrete.
Or you just split the wood. And so he smacked it with the sledgehammer a few times, and then they ended up cut. And then he's standing there, and then our Uncle Sherm, our other uncle, walks by. He's like, Tom, that's too long. It was tremendous, And the great thing about it is just watching, our grandpa and then our dad and his brothers interact, and then Harrison getting like kind of pulled into the whole thing and trying to find things for him to do while they're making fun of him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he doesn't know how to do things. It's like, yeah, he's a kid. He doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, why would he?
This is a learning process.
Yeah, we're here to learn. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I'm watching all of that while you and I are, eating donuts and drinking coffee, and just talking to Grandma.
Yeah, my favorite part was Dad comes over. He's like, hey, they needed to cut the planks to go across the ramp.
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
48 inches.
40. It's like 47 and a half or something.
Sure.
Something like that.
Harrison, do you remember the measurement?
It was supposed to be 48.
It was
not.
Well, listen.
Anyway, 48 inches.
About 48.
Yeah.
And so Dad's like, do you mind if he uses, was that miter saw?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I used it when I was his age. And listen, it went over pretty well.
And Dad said, I used it twice and did this.
That's the type of humor that...
Then that was our contribution. It was just generally tomfoolery, you know. And so, and it's Grandpa just like frustrated that they're not doing it right because he's read the things and they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But he's going to let them do it, you know what I mean? And you almost get more joy out of watching them do it wrong and telling them, you know what I mean, that they did it wrong than actually just doing it, you know.
It's sturdy.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. I really have no doubt about that.
The rail is going to be a challenge.
But just watching all of that interaction, you know, I was like, you know what? It's good that I'm here because I've recently run out of stuff to talk to my therapist about. And this is going to take us for months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, just months. He's going to be able to pull all sorts of stuff out of that, you know, so.
Just wait for 20 years from now, Dad to call us to put a ramp up.
Yeah. Nah, that's not happening.
We're gonna let Levi and Harrison do it.
Yeah. No, we're gonna still be eating donuts, drinking coffee, and making fun of people. That's our thing. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I might just
literally
Yeah.
got a text from. So I was.
You were there for a second.
For a second.
Yeah.
So you know why it was only a second? Because Dan ran to get in my car.
Yeah.
He was like, I was showing him a house that we're moving into soon, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey,
Come get me."
He's like, "Hey, you want to look at that house right now? Like, you want to go over to the house right now?" And I was like,
I thought this was a pre. You totally
we
bailed.
did pre-talk about it.
We pre-talked about it.
We
but
did.
I wasn't even like up
It was
and dressed
scheduled.
yet.
It was scheduled for like 6:00 that night.
I sent that
And Dan's like,
text about 5 minutes after I got there. I was like, "This is not.
It was. I was
I'm
like,
not
oh, wow,
gonna.
I'm
he's
good
excited.
anytime now.
I really, honestly, they don't need my help."
I was here till like 4 or 5.
Yeah. And I
Were
see
you
Dad
really-
on Sunday because I knew I'm going to be painting the rail, you know. And Dad looks at me and he's like, "Yeah, the rail's not in. It's going to be a while." I was like, "All right, well, just call me when you're
Well, I
ready."
was going to come back Sunday and help with the rail, but it was scheduled to rain for the next like 4 days.
Well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to paint that rail. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a painter,
Yeah.
you know, so I can do that. And
Yeah.
and that I can actually contribute, you know,
I think
in that way,
That'd be solid.
rather than just make fun of, you know, the whole situation.
We have a problem with the railing because it either needs to look good or function good. And it could go one of either ways. So
I just love how when I show up, Dan's running to my vehicle, and
Jesse.
Jason is sitting in a lawn chair on the porch while everyone else is working.
I literally
He's
like
just
jumped
lounging.
over.
I was
them
pacing
working,
myself.
you know.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Grandma, eating donuts, brewing coffee.
It was not a bad way to spend the morning.
No.
It was fine.
Watching my son work. Yeah, that's not bad. Listen, it was a learning educational experience. We just said if we could go back in time when we were his age, we would have loved to learn things like that.
Yeah, I just love Grandpa saying, "Well, I would do this," and
Doing it a different way.
and then Sherm or Tom or Dad saying, "Well, I think we're going to do it this way," and Grandpa going,
Yeah. Well, I don't think, for the record,
Fine. If that's
I don't
what you wanna
think
do.
Dad suggested anything.
"Well, yeah, no, Dad was just trying to find things for Harrison to do mostly."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them both busy. So, have you ever run into someone and they recognize you before you recognize them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a problem that you have. My wife has this problem. I typically don't. I almost always recognize people before they recognize me.
Yeah.
It gives me a chance to either like duck and run or like
Sure.
confront or something like that. I was walking into Myers tonight, and this guy and his son, I'm looking at them, and there's a guy, he's not wearing a mask, and I'm already not intimidated, I'm frustrated because I'm done with the mask thing. I'm sick and tired
Oh,
of it.
the guy is wearing a mask?
No, the guy's not, but
Oh.
his son is.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I'm just playing in my mind like, okay, that's weird. I mean, his son's wearing one, he's not, you know, because typically you see like family units.
Yes.
Like the whole family unit has a mask or don't.
Yeah.
It was split. And I'm just running this through my mind and I'm not paying attention to who it is. I'm just walking by. And as I'm walking by, he goes something like, you know, "Good afternoon, sir." And I'm walking by. I'm like, I feel like he was like saluting a soldier or something. Like
Yeah.
I'm wearing my work uniform, and
Thank you for your service.
so I mean, it was something. It felt very like
Formal.
and I'm like, what? And I look at it was Darren Howard.
Darren Howard.
Went to school with Darren, and it took me a second, and then I realized it. But I always feel stupid. I hate that feeling when someone recognizes me and I don't recognize them.
Yeah.
And it happens every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
And I did recognize as soon as I looked into his eyes and I saw him and heard his voice. I'm like, oh, I know who you are.
So Darren, his brother Jared and I were pretty good friends.
Yes.
Growing up. And
Yeah.
so I knew Darren kind of like just through his brother a little bit. And I like Darren.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Straightforward.
Very straightforward.
Yes.
I ran into him about 5 years ago
Yeah.
at a GameStop. And we're just talking. I asked him, hey, how's your brother doing? You know, just kind of your general shooting the breeze. We haven't talked to each other for 20 years or something like that, you know, just general catching up, where you live in, where you work, and that kind of stuff. And I invited him to church, you know, and I was like, hey, you should come to church sometime. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I really appreciated that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
You know, because
I wish more people said
sometimes
that.
you invite someone to church
Yeah.
or something. Hey, you should come to church with me sometime.
Yeah,
and they're like,
sure.
you know what? I might do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you guys meet on
You have a card or something? Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Sunday
All right.
morning, right? Yeah.
All right. And he just
You never.
I'm not going to do that. And I was like, thank you.
I appreciate that.
I really did appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I have one memory of Darren, and I almost brought it up in front of his kid, but then I thought, nah, I don't want to embarrass him. So I'll do it now in front of lots of people.
Sure.
So we're in 7th grade. We're on the basketball team. It's the first game of the year. We're playing Pleasant. And it's a close game, back and forth. And I'm sitting on the bench beside Darren because...
Triple overtime.
Triple overtime.
I remember that game.
And they put Darren in for the first time. And as soon as he touches the ball, I mean, we're all amped up. It's 7th grade,
yes.
boys, you know, the whole thing. I think about, is Gideon in 7th grade? Yeah, so
That's
it's like Gideon's
insane.
age.
Yes.
It's crazy to think about, because at the time I felt like
You
such
just
an
felt,
adult.
yeah, you're like a NBA basketball player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can picture Gideon totally doing this. So amped up. As soon as he gets the ball, he turns and fires it towards the basket from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Misses everything, goes over everything, over the backboard, over
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
He immediately got pulled out.
He didn't have a chance.
No.
Yeah.
And
Darren's a very good baseball player.
oh yeah, for sure. He was a good athlete.
He was a good athlete. He was a very good baseball player.
Yeah.
I saw him hit a home run over the fence at Prospect.
That's a deep shot. Yeah. So, anyways, that memory of him firing it over the backboard and the hoop and everything. It's that because then I'm thinking, because I hadn't been subbed in yet, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to even shoot. I'm just, you know, I'm not going to do that. So, anyways,
It just goes to show, you never know. I know that we were going to come in here today and talk about Darren Howard.
I got so much. Do you have things? Because I have lots of things.
You know.
Let's hit the Netflix real quick.
All right.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. Or we don't want to put a box around what you watch, so you never know.
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
Perhaps one of the most popular shows right now on Netflix. Squid Game. Have you heard about this?
I'm aware of its existence, and that is it.
Yeah, so it's like a Korean Hunger Games.
Okay.
I would classify it.
Wait a minute, it's a fictional thing?
Well, probably.
Is that a game show?
Yeah, so basically they recruit 500 people, plus or minus 456, I think was the official number. And they put them in a series of competitions, like life and death.
Okay.
But it's...
So it is fictional.
I don't know. This actually... I could see this actually really happening.
Is it North Korea?
Well, there is a North Korean that was part of it, but it was South Korea. Anyways, the games are super simple. Like the very first game was red light, green light. Mm-hmm. And if you got caught moving, they shot you dead. And instantly half the people died. So it was an interesting, I would say it's probably not for young kids. I'd say teenagers.
Sounds kind of heavy.
Is pretty fine. Harrison watched it with me. And a little addictive, a little addicting. It was good. I liked it. And I thought it had a very... Squid Game, yeah. It's 7 or 8, 9 episodes, something like that. Okay. So... it was interesting, and we watched it English dubbed over, so it felt like a Bruce Lee movie kind of, which wasn't so bad.
Okay,
so Squid Game.
All right. Well, my official Netflix suggestion of the week would be a documentary called The Great War. It's a PBS documentary about World War I. I'm about halfway through it. It's very good. It's 3 or 4 episodes that are like 2 hours each. So I've really been liking it. It's very good. But my Netflix suggestion of the week that I really want to talk about is I went to go see Dune, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw Dune.
Scale 1 to 10.
You know me.
Now, did Hans Zimmer do the soundtrack?
Hans Zimmer did do the soundtrack. Yeah. Now, the soundtrack is effective.
Yeah.
But it's not one that I'm like, I want to get that record and
iconic.
Listen to it. Well, it doesn't have like a melody line or, that it's very ambient.
I gotcha.
It's a lot of like, you'll hear like in the background, like, like
Egypt.
Yeah, there's some of that. And then there's like, it's very ambient and it's very like ominous and like, like very. So it's effective.
Yeah,
but it's not like
I follow.
Okay, so
movie.
The movie itself, 1 to 10.
Yeah,
gosh, I'd give it a 9. Like,
really,
I really liked it, and I've read Dune.
Yeah.
I've listened to it and read it, and I like Dune. I don't like it as much as other things. Like I like Lord of the Rings a little bit better. There's some other things I like definitely better, but I like Dune.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit like, how are they going to do this? So the movie starts off and it says Dune Part 1. Now, what I know is that Part 2 has not been greenlit at this point.
The movie.
There's
like 18 books.
Yeah, there's like a ton of books.
Yeah.
But the movie. So but Part 1 is just the first book.
Yeah.
It's not even the first book. It's half of the first book.
Oh, wow.
So and which is a good decision. It's a thick book with a lot that happens in it.
The audiobook is 21 hours.
Yeah, if they were going to make this book into one movie, you would have to cut out so much that was important.
I feel like stuff like that,
Should have been a
even
TV show.
A miniseries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
I think it would be perfect for a miniseries.
Like Game of Thrones was, I think, 8 episodes. But it was one book.
Yeah. I think it would be perfect for that too.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's a movie and it's a well done movie. I just it's beautiful.
Okay.
The whole Dune world is
Arrakis.
Arrakis is the Dune planet.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The movie doesn't start off on Arrakis. The movie starts off on.
Are there spiders on Arrakis? I feel like
not that I know of. There's sandworms. That's a whole thing. So anyway, it's like space, right? They travel, but there's like no presence of technology, right? So it's like ancient, like people read books, right? You don't like see computers, right? So the whole like Dune lore is that at one point, long ago, technology almost killed everyone. And so they just decided, we just need to get rid of this technology. Well, this melange, this spice that's on Arrakis is what like powers everything.
Okay.
Right? And so that's how they can travel. Space travel is the spice. And so technology, so it's cool. I think it's super cool because it's like futuristic and ancient at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? And I just think the filmmaker, his name's Denis Villeneuve. I don't know how to say his last
French.
name. Villeneuve. He's French Canadian.
Oh.
Makes it even worse. I'd almost rather he just be regular old French, But he's French.
That strikes
Canadian.
1 and 2 right there.
Strikes 1 and 2. So he's French Canadian.
Yeah.
He did Arrival. Was his movie? Do you know that movie?
Yeah, it's okay.
I like that movie a lot.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams and Hawkeye. And
Yeah.
whatever his name is. So I liked it a lot. Apparently, this guy read Dune when he was like 14 years old, like changed his life, like loves the book.
Yeah.
And so ever since he's been a movie maker, he's always wanted to make this movie.
Right.
And so he's the perfect person to make the movie.
Yeah.
I watched it with two people who had not read the books, that were not familiar with it, and they were able to follow it. They liked it too. So I would highly recommend anybody who likes science fiction. It's good science fiction. It's beautiful. The actors, I think, that they picked are like perfect. And I really don't have any major complaints as someone who liked the...
I will definitely watch it.
yeah. I'm curious what you think. I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Because I could see, after I watched it, I could see somebody being like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't follow it, or it was just too much.
From what I understand, is it's lots of people and places and things like that, but it's in a universe that I don't know anything about.
Exactly.
So that's the tough part.
But I think, well, like I said, two people that I saw it with, when we got out, I asked them, were you able to follow that?
Yeah.
Like that's a very like pretentious thing to ask.
was
Like,
it,
are you
Aaron
too
and Riley,
dumb to
or
follow
no?
this? It was Levi and Josh. I don't know if you know Josh,
No, I
but
don't.
yeah.
It's like sci-fi people. Riley's a sci-fi person.
Sure.
It's a different mindset, I think. I think non-sci-fi people going into a sci-fi film, they're automatically not going to like it. Default setting
Maybe.
is it was stupid.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
And sci-fi and fantasy are two different things too. Lord of the Rings is not sci-fi. It's more of the fantasy world. But anyways, so
Anyway, my suggestion
I like it.
is Dune.
When's the last time you did a farmer's blow?
Yesterday?
Do you have a Netflix?
Snot Rocket.
Should we? Okay.
Nah.
Snot Rocket.
We've been forgetting Jesse.
No, I haven't forgotten him. I just chose
I
not
just
to.
assumed after my last one that was
Yeah, that's
raunchy.
probably true.
The Kim Possible. Was that a Netflix?
We don't need to
It
mention
would
that.
be.
Snot Rocket, Farmer Blow. What is another name for it?
I don't know.
There's another one that I'm aware of.
I
Anyway, I think I did it yesterday. I do it
today.
I do it quite a bit.
I do it every day. Do you ever do it in the shower?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect time to do it.
That's like the George Washington.
Of times. Okay, Mount Rushmore of times to Farmer Blow. Do you know what Farmer's Blow is, Harrison?
I mean, I might. I don't know.
You don't know. It's when you plug one nostril and you blow out.
Oh, I've done that.
Okay. It's a fantastic form of blowing your nose because you don't have to worry
I
about
need a tissue.
anything. Now you do, like if you're outside, if you're not in the if you're in the shower, you don't have to worry about so much. You're gonna get clean. If you're outside, you need to tip your head back a little bit because if you don't, you're gonna get it on you.
There's a couple other terms for it.
Okay, what are they?
Farmer Snort,
I think that's an inhale.
Bush Hanky,
Oh,
a Dirty Tyler,
What?
oh wait a minute, that one's no good. A Schnoodle Noodle, Tissue Fishing, Special Vessel, Fresh Guacamole, a Georgia Snot Rocket, a Nose Nart, a Hakeem Olajuwon, I don't know.
I think they just
A
put words.
Marburger, a Van Tucky Snot Rocket, Snot Shotgun, Meat Kleenex, Pasta Rocket. Some of these are pretty good. So, yeah, it's got some other terms.
Noodle? What's that?
Schnoodle Noodle.
And what was the pasta? Pasta Rocket?
Those
Those are
I
pretty good.
edited many of these. There's some other things in here that are not so good. Fresh guacamole's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Schnoodle Noodle, nose fruit. I like a Dirty Tyler.
Yeah.
Bush Hanky. Anyway.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I think the Farmer's Blow is
Oh, we want to do the Mount Rushmore of places.
times and places, scenarios in which a farmer's blow might.
Okay. Well, I mean, on the farm.
Wait, it's a farmer's blow.
It's a farmer's blow.
So anytime you're around dust and dirt, which a lot of farmers are, it's a perfect time for the old.
Which finger do you use?
I do left index finger.
I do my thumb.
Oh, thumb?
I'm straight middle finger.
Middle finger.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'm an index guy. Yeah, I'm definitely index.
Because I want to get these fingers away from it.
Get them clear.
You know what I mean? Like here, this is in like the firing zone. You know what I mean? Like this is like the splash zone.
Yeah.
But if I do this, it gets all of my tilt it forward.
And then do you pinch?
Yep.
That's what I do.
That's definitely a visual if you're listening. Yeah, he's just wiping with his hand all over his nose.
Yeah. So on the farm.
That'd
be first.
To George Washington. I think the shower. I think the shower.
I don't do it in the shower.
Two people in the room do. Harrison, do you ever? Farmer's
Okay.
blow?
Well, first of all, one of the people in the room that do also sometimes before he's about ready to go to the restroom
makes this
pauses
sandwich.
so he can make a sandwich while he's sitting on the toilet. So,
I know at least one of our listeners has to do that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's
make a
very
sandwich
common.
for the toilet.
Yes.
No, I was talking about in the shower, the farmer's blow.
No,
No,
I'm talking about
nobody.
sandwich.
How many sandwich?
Great idea. Did it today before I came here. It's efficient.
I've had so many. It's efficient. I mean, you have 24 hours in a day in which you could eat a sandwich. Why you have to do it?
The car ride over. That would have been efficient.
Some people ask me. Actually, I get this question quite a bit. I got this question this week. I get this question quite a bit. Does Jason really believe in Bigfoot?
Yes.
People ask me
100%.
that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
is that he's just saying that, or does he really believe in Bigfoot?
I really believe
People
in it.
ask me that a lot, a lot. I've had to answer that question quite a bit.
Yeah.
The real concerning thing is Jesse's telling the truth
Oh yes.
with this
100%.
toilet sandwich
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Listen. Farm.
on the farm,
shower. Sports field.
sports field, yes. Mm-hmm.
We got one more. I think those are the big three.
Trail, hiking trail.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you meet a new person.
It's just like
Before you shake
Hi,
hands.
I'm Jesse.
it's like a power move, Like how, yeah.
Man,
All right, that's a show. You got other stuff. I
Dude,
got stuff.
I've got some really, really good stuff. Because I wrote it down, I think it's better stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to save it for next time. This is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Booba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.
You guys mind
No,
if
I swear, if you ask that one more time,